Up to our ring announcer here real quick.
He is definitely a big boy. I'm surprised that he could make 205 still.
He looks angry. When Travis fights angry, that's his best. That's the best I've ever seen him in his career. When the few times he doesn't get real emotional. He doesn't get angry. But the few times I've seen him fight angry have been his best fights.
Coming at it. They're coming at each other. Mix it up, boys.
You never got to train with Travis. You said you were at the gym a few times, Tommy. You never got to
I've
actually
seen
train
him around. I never got to get, step foot in there and train with him, mix it up of any sort, any wrestling, anything at all. Talked to him a little bit. Seems to be a real nice guy and all.
He is. He's seen it all.
He's
90 fights.
He's a quiet guy.
Well, look, it's like, oh.
He does not want to be right here, though. He wants to get this to the ground quick.
Danyelle has good power in his hands, too, Todd.
Yeah, he seems to be. Seems to be light on his feet.
What I like about Danyelle too is he's a goer. He'd never quit. He keeps coming no matter what.
Let's see how that first little flurry took out of him here.
For sure. And Travis too. Travis a big boy. He's on a winning streak right now, but
he's bringing on.
I think that Travis
pummel for position in there. Pummel for position.
Well, he's got to take advantage of these times where Trav isn't changing levels.
Well, Travis looks like he kind of wants to knock out Danyelle and maybe end this.
I think you're right.
Well, they're from the same town, Todd, and they fought a few times, like 2001.
Okay.
In 2001, and they were close, but Danyelle was a lot younger. And Travis was a stud then. Danyelle was kind of brought in as the opponent. Well, now Danyelle's like 8-3. Different fighter.
Right.
Oof. If I was Danyelle, I'd want to just see stuff. I probably want to stuff the takedowns and land a hard shot and, see if I can test the chin of Travis.
I keep your distance.
Yeah, and just try to land one hard one. Don't try to get slick or throw kicks or anything like that. Just.
He's going to use his side mount here, or is he going to try to slide over top?
It'll be interesting.
I think he'll be fine right here.
I think you're right.
A lot of wrestlers love to work big. They love to work from here. If
you got the power to knock somebody out from that position, stay there.
And you're not going to get submitted, especially at 205.
Right.
Submission, can you pull it? No one's going to slink under you.
Right.
Shrimp and get your left leg in front, D.
I will say this: what I love about Travis View is he's got to be the biggest 205er, and he has one of the best walkout songs ever.
and he's the first guy that used that song.
Is he?
I think. He's got to be. He's been using it since 2001 or whatever.
Control the posture. Control his posture.
See, now one thing
he feels comfortable right there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I just don't think either guy could get you down, Todd. I'm sure you feel the same way, but
I've been in there. I've been on the mat with the best of them.
The arm triangle is there, and that is over. He lowers the hips.
That might be submission of the night.
He's all right. He's all right. He's all right. He got that shoulder through.
He's not all right. He had to give up his back to do it, but I would slam him right here. He's doing a good job of fighting the hands.
This could break him.
All right, I'm going to have to go.
Pummel it back in.
We got some security issues, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
When Jeremy pops up like that, that's what that means.
I was wondering. He had to get out of here in a hurry.
Yeah. Were you Iowa Central?
I went to Iowa Central for 2 years off the bat, and then I transferred to Iowa, and I wrestled at Iowa for a year where I had knee surgery.
Oh!
Ooh, big takedown. Big takedown.
Still got the strength.
And over in Trav's corner is Jamie Hyatt. He wrestled at Iowa as well. He was an All-American for the Hawkeyes.
Is he from Wilton originally?
Yes.
Okay, the name's familiar then. Yep.
He's the head wrestling coach at Castle Manorville, where Trav's an assistant now. And Brock Bergey's a Castle Manorville kid. He's down wrestling in Iowa now, too.
Okay.
Sam Stoll coming down there, one of the best heavyweights in the country.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, is he good? Freaking Greco.
Raphael would be very interesting with Travis, too.
He like to keep it on his feet, does he?
Yeah, Raphael, 35 pro boxing knockouts and a national champion boxer. He,
no kidding.
Besides 5XL gloves, he'd definitely be looking to keep that one on the feet. But tough to do with Travis when you're a boxer. I mean, Travis wouldn't be, he's not
close that gap on anybody. You know, anybody can close the gap.
For sure.
He's back up, though. He ain't backing down.
If you keep getting up
in his face
takedowns, Travis will get tired. He's a big guy.
Keep in his face, wear him out. Keep them arms nice and heavy.
Because Travis had to work really hard here in round one. Oh, man.
Trav's hurt. I think Trav's gassed more than he's hurt.
Too. I can see a little change in his eyes.
Danyelle has tons of energy. Danielle's really trying to, he's wow.
Trav is gassed.
This could be.
Trav has the same look as he had when he fought down to New Mexico at Elevation. And he got knocked out after the bell.
I remember that. That was Bellator, right?
No, King of the Cage. One of the ones where King of the Cage was on TV.
Oh.
So where's Travis been training out of then?
You know, he kind of bounces around and you know, he hasn't really had a set gym anymore. I know he hasn't been in Mario's in years, or a year or so. I mean, he might pop in there, but
that's the last place I'd seen him there. I was training to fight Jesse Lund out of Des Moines, and Travis was in there. I believe he was getting ready for his Bellator tournament.
Which did he win that tournament?
He was in the finals. He got beat in the finals there.
Well,
that was a hell of a run.
He beat the champion beforehand.
He fought,
in a non-title fight.
Yep.
What a surprise that was.
Well, that was a surprise because Travis cut 60 pounds in 4 weeks to get there.
I was watching him. He looked like he was getting in a little rough shape at the end there.
Well, they called him with it on less than a month's notice, and he was, you know, preparing to only fight at heavyweight again.
I was very surprised when Ben told me that Travis wanted to fight for us at 205.
What they weigh at 248 today?
What was he, Ben?
I didn't see what Trav weighed.
I thought he was like 240 something.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. 248. They were both weighed in at, something like that.
I wonder if he just, that's probably what he walks at. He looks a lot bigger than that, though, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Because his legs are, you know, for a wrestler, look at his legs, though. Your legs are probably twice as thick as his. He's very thick up top, though.
He's coming right back in, though. He's going for that early takedown here.
Tell you what, I give DR some credit for the way he's defended takedowns today. I mean, eventually Trav's going to get it, but he's defended well.
He's gotten up, too.
I think.
That slide right over the top of that arm there. That leg, pin that arm down. He'd have all free shots there. There you go, right there. Pin that right down.
The longer this fight goes, the better shape Danyelle Williams is in.
Yeah.
How old the kid's he then?
He's an older guy, but he's just, you know, he took like 5 or 6 years off, and his body just kind of seemed to, you know, he's a younger guy at heart, but I think he's probably 32.
Okay.
He's a young 32, though. I've seen him grit it out a few times. He's going to be, if he gets up a few more times, this is going to get really interesting, but right now Travis is in full control.
DR throwing good elbows from the bottom, though.
Making him feel uncomfortable there.
So he busted up the right eye of Travis a bit. Might be able to close that if he land another elbow.
Already busted up from the Hadid fight.
Control his head and his arm. Control his head and his arm. Wrap around his head. Wrap around his head. Control the head and the arm.
If he's going to be content sitting in here tight for a little while and trying to regain himself, or if he's going to keep working here.
I like what he's doing with those short elbows.
Yeah.
It's keeping.
I tell you, you don't need much of a distance to get a lot of damage with them elbows.
They don't feel good, do they?
No, they do not.
And now Trav's got him pulled away from the cage. There you go.
That's
There
what you
go.
need right there.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Got to think
That's
when you're
trouble.
out there.
That's trouble right there.
Yeah. Go right back to it.
He might try. He might, if he tries anything, he might try to set up that arm triangle again.
Smothering him right now. Smothering him for sure.
Danyelle might be able to slip out here, but I don't know how agile he's going to be on the ground here.
Let's swim underneath there. Swim underneath it.
Might give up his back in the process. He does. Now,
Yeah.
Trav, like last time, doesn't put any hooks in.
He's got to bust these hands loose.
I'll tell you what, it's taxing to the mind when a guy just keeps getting up and coming after you.
You know, when you stuff most wrestlers, unless they're real hard-headed, almost, I call them dumb but smart wrestlers, like if you stuff them a couple times in the first round, they stop shooting. They'll just stand and get beat up. You know, but then you get some wrestlers that will get stuffed 10 times and still shoot that 11th time knowing they'll get it.
Keep coming.
But they got to have the cardio for that.
Exactly. Got to know they put the time in.
The Trav style is just that grinding. It used to be a blast double, but now it's just kind of a grinding double.
I got to say, Todd, though, I don't think it's an advantage for Travis that it's a 5-round fight.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think that at all.
Danyelle holds his power late in the fight and has a good beard, you know, so I think that he'll be there late rounds unless Travis pulls off an arm triangle choke or a TKO.
We'll find out. Looks like it's going to slip into them later rounds, I believe. Like you said, these guys take a lot of energy, you know, big guys.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone shoot on you the whole time, Todd? I guess that's usually not the plan. I know when I've seen you rock some guys. Like even your last fight, you rocked Blake, and he had the bad idea to kind of shoot. But have you ever got a chance to show off your wrestling in fights? I watched the highlight that I saw you. You couldn't even tell you were a wrestler.
Not a whole lot. No, not a whole lot.
I said that to somebody.
Use it when you have to.
Yeah.
You know, use it when you have to. I guess I never really have a game plan in any fight I go into. Just kind of, I've always had the mentality of wrestle and react. Same thing, fight and react. You know, no difference there.
Well, yeah, and like, I mean, I think you have the capability. You could probably lay and pray most of the people in the Midwest.
I do believe that myself. I do believe that myself.
I don't think you're the kind of guy that gets motivated to lay and pray, though, huh?
What's that, lay and pray?
Yeah,
no,
not that's going on here because it isn't. I'm not actually trying to criticize this fight because it isn't at all. I'm more saying
they're
the
staying
high-level
busy
wrestlers.
here. They're staying busy here.
Travis is landing some great strikes. Danyelle just keeps coming back.
My mentality is you go out there, you try to end the fight. You know, why stay out there any longer than you have to?
Well, that's when the danger happens. You know? That's why I was saying 5 rounds.
We're here.
DR staying calm off his, you know, it doesn't look like he's burning off a lot of energy, Todd. It looks like he's
giving himself the chance to win.
Travis is just so strong, and he's just he understands what he's there to do. You know, is take this guy down and beat on him. And,
stays
he's done
tight
it so
on
many
top.
times. Yeah,
stays tight and heavy.
I can't imagine submitting him, and I don't think that Danielle's really got the jiu-jitsu to pull it off. But I don't usually worry about submissions too much at heavyweight anyways.
Right.
Other than a rear naked choke and an arm bar.
Or a head and arm, you know, something like that.
The head and arm actually is one that heavyweights can use.
It is. It really is. It's kind of a natural position for a wrestler, too, you know, to have that there.
And then you get a guy like you or Travis that's like, you know, gets vice grip on. It's like, you know.
I feel comfortable with that one. I really do.
Yeah, fine. And then Fisher. Yep. Oh.
It'd be nice if we could get, you know, Butler and with Wiuff and Todd. We're talking about getting Todd to come up here and maybe meet up at Mario's to rake with Raphael while he's here.
Like I said,
you guys couldn't be more polar opposites, at least on paper. You know? You got the stud wrestler, stud boxer.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
Oh, he is a big boy.
Bellator had to make a pair of custom 5XLs for him.
Jeepers. Yeah, he's a big guy. There's no doubt about that.
He's definitely the kind of guy that will never smell 205.
No, he's got a pretty big frame to him.
His legs are thicker than View's, too.
Are they really?
Oh, they're not. It's not close. If you've seen Raphael's calves, never seen calves that big.
Dude, they're the biggest I've seen, yeah.
Just a big old frame to him.
Huge hands. Hands are so nice.
Where's he originally out of that?
He's from Chicago, then Rochester. He moved to Rochester like 12 or 13.
Okay.
Boxed out of there forever. Out of Compound, it was called 4th Street Gym, some people call it. That gym just shut down.
So are him and Travis familiar with each other?
They are, but they have worked together, Ben, but it's not a ton.
They went together.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going to go on. Are you going to press the issue again? Come right in? Yeah. Ooh.
That's the way to do it.
There's just not a lot you can do.
Now someone's coming forward smartly.
And one guy wrestled and one guy didn't. You know, and Travis is a.
Danyelle wrestled, didn't he?
Work that right hand.
And Travis is a, you know, he was a JUCO All-American and a D2 All-American.
He wrestled at Rochester then, was it? Okay, I think he wrestled actually with Mankato.
He wrestled Lesnar in college.
Suck your knees into yourself.
Because
I think he was wrestling for Rochester when another kid that wrestled in high school with me was wrestling there. Brad Strike out of Cresco. Yeah, I think they're teammates.
I just don't know how that guy gets 205. It's the skinny legs, I'm guessing, that help him.
It's a wrestler mentality, though. You know, Trav would rather die than not.
Well,
make
Travis is one of the, you know, when you have 90 fights and you fought everybody, you definitely earn your stripes.
Just once.
Yeah,
he would have locked him in there, don't you think, Todd?
Oh, definitely,
definitely.
You know, that right eye shut of his, if you can get the stand-up fight going. Nice move by Travis. Nice pulled on. But if I was Danyelle, I'd really look to, you know, move towards that eye and try to land something big. You know, that he doesn't see coming, kind of loop it or something, you know.
Got to go with a little more misdirection, too. He's coming straight forward all the time, you know. He's kind of set something up with a little misdirection.
For sure. Travis is in a lot better shape than he was when he fought for us a month ago. He got tired after he did win the fight against Brian Hadeen, but he was getting tired, it seemed like. And here he's.
Where was that, out here?
No, it was Detroit Lakes, about 3 hours north.
Okay, yep.
And fought a tough guy, Brian Hadeen.
Hadeen's got good wins on his record.
He does. Hadeen's a good fighter. Hadeen was doing very well in that fight. Sorry. He was starting to come back and stuff with takedowns, and then he got clipped.
Don't worry about that crossface. Turn into him. Turn the other way. There you go. Keep turning.
What's it like, Todd? I don't know. You probably wouldn't know, but it must be terrible to have someone that big just grinding you like
Smothering you.
Oh.
Smothering you.
And it's frustrating, too, probably.
That's what I was going to say. The big thing is to keep it together mentally when you're in that situation, you know?
Yeah.
Start panicking, you get flipping around, flailing out, you gas yourself out, and then it just gets that much worse. Stay calm if you can.
Danyelle is honestly doing a fantastic job of getting those elbows out.
He's doing what he can do down there.
Trav ate a lot of those.
You know, it kind of takes away from Travis's offense when he's throwing them elbows down there.
He's keeping him busy. He's keeping it,
exactly.
You know, if you're getting hit with elbows, you got to think before. You're not just going in there and ground and pounding. You're watching out for your own face. And like you said, you don't need, 3 inches to make it bother you?
Generate a lot of, you do a lot of damage with 3 inches.
Just got to stay out of this position here.
He's offered that arm triangle like 5 times, and Travis just not taking it. He's not locking his hands under there.
And even like View weighs 250, but man, him laying on your stomach trying to breathe,
feeling like he's 500 pounds.
Knows how to put that pressure into you.
A
lot of props to DR because DR isn't showing any signs of frustration.
No.
Travis is showing a little. He's you know, throwing a little stuff here, hard stuff, but he keeps getting that
pouring sweat
out of his position. Yeah.
I don't know if Trav is thinking Americana right there. I don't know.
Those hurt, huh, Todd?
Yes. Right in the ear.
Well, they're probably not fight finishers, but they could cut him up.
Oh yeah.
Are they talking in there now?
I believe he's talking to the ref.
Did Trav just put his leg in guard? No. Can't see that far side. Is this the third or the fourth?
Third.
See, now put a hook in.
Yes.
It's like
pressure.
It's like he's anti-hook. You know what I mean?
Use your hips there. Get a little arch and make him feel you.
What's crazy?
Bounce his head. Bounce and move him there.
The knees there. Once he gets those arms and he's just so strong.
Don't let him pass your guard. Don't let him pass your guard. Keep your guard. Get your knees inside. Butterfly. Hold rope right there. Short time. Breathe. Keep the posture down and breathe. Just breathing. Get ready for the next round. You're good. Breathe.
Good advice from Danyelle's corner over here. You know, telling him to just breathe and get ready for the next round, and it's probably good advice. There's not much you can do in this town for this position.
I like to see heavyweights go in this 4th and 5th round.
You know, it's rare. Yeah, we had a thing when we were talking. Whenever I put together a heavyweight fight, now I've learned, but whenever I used to put together a good heavyweight fight, I get all pumped about it, and now I can't. I just always know, oh, I'll play over 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah, you can put the two biggest studs in heavyweight on paper, and unless you get somebody, you know, you watch UFC, and that happens a lot too. Unless you get someone like Brock Lesnar, his fights are always over right away. You know, one of the, like, you know, then you get a Dos Santos that can take your baseball bats upside the head. I mean, the Kane fights. Those are one of the few that you see go late into the 5th rounds. You know, you don't usually see the championship rounds in a heavyweights or even 205.
No, you really don't.
And most big guys don't look forward to that.
Right.
You know, yeah, I mean,
It's a long time.
If you were in this fight right now, Todd, what do you think you'd be feeling right now? And what would your game plan be if you were Danyelle? Side-to-side movement and land something hard?
No, I just think stick to what you're doing. If you're winning the fight, stick to what you're doing and one-up him. Match him for what, you know, match him blow for blow, or, you know, one-up him. Outwork him.
Yeah.
Outwork him at this point. This is, you get into the mentally tough battle, you know. Find out who you're at and what time you put in, you know, and lay it on the line now. You know, this is what you train for, I guess. This is, you know you have outworked that guy. Look at him across the ring and think, okay, I put the time in. Let's see what you've done.
Well, and if you look at Travis, he's looking better than he did after round 2. He's breathing good. He's not.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's like he caught his wind. You know, he might have got clipped at that round 2 or worked a little too hard.
I think, or he wanted to finish it early and it didn't happen for him too.
So he's calmed down, veteran that he is.
Yep, exactly.
But what we'd love to do with you, Todd, is, you know, the winner of this, they say they can fight at 205. We'd love to unify or to have two, you know, have you fight for the heavyweight and the 205 belts. You know, wouldn't it?
Still going for that.
I just got sprayed, showered. Look at him, he's like literally wiping it off.
He just goes right in for that takedown every time.
Hey man, I love it. You know, if that's the game plan, why waste time doing it, right?
Yep. Yep. Especially you know you can get it.
Yeah. Small cage like this. Travis,
it is a small cage.
It's a 22-footer, but it's not super small, but for heavyweights, probably somewhat small. But we had Travis. We didn't do the fight, but Travis fought an 8-1 kid, local, in this guy's cage, a 15-footer. And I was like, why would you fight Travis Wiuff in a 15-foot cage?
Don't give him much room in there, does it?
Not many guys are going to beat him in the world.
Right.
You know, you're going to get wrestled in a 3-round fight. You're not going to be able to do anything.
Yep.
And Travis just held him against the cage all fight, took him down, and, you know, eventually would just get him down every round. And but our cage is about average size. You know, most are about 20 to 24. We do want to get a bigger cage at some point, but we do a lot of smaller venues. This is one of our smaller venues. But
nice little place.
It is.
Good setup.
But DR has not had a chance the last 2 rounds to do anything on the feet.
No, he hasn't had a chance to do anything whatsoever, has he?
No. Within 10 seconds, Travis threw 2 bombs and got a takedown. And then,
yep.
you know, and he stayed glued to him. You know, like one thing I do like about Travis is even when you know, if he gets up, Travis stays glued.
Right. You know, he could have done a little better job of circling, you know. Mm-hmm. Even with that pressure, you know, Travis is coming straight in, forward pressure, circle, circle, circle. You're going to get pressed up against the cage if not.
Now put a hook in, please.
Yes.
He's got, like,
as soon as that hip slides up, there's your clearance right there. You can let him pop up. Right there, boom.
Put a hook in, Travis. Jeepers.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to waste all that energy now.
Some wrestlers are weird. Jacob Volkman never liked sticking hooks in either. He got caught with a submission one time and putting a hook in. I can't remember what it was, but he was like, oh, I never put a hook in.
Travis just not even, the thought of a rear naked choke is not even thought. You know what I mean? He hasn't even thought of it. He's just thinking of getting him back down rather than, than choking him out.
Steady. There's an arm triangle right there, too.
Yeah, it'd be hard to pop over. It'd be hard against the cage there, but I don't know if he'd be able to lower his hips on that far side.
Push on his hips, yeah, make space, and get your right leg in front. Get your right leg in front. Control his hip. There you go.
Yeah, he's really nullified his offense, taking him down so quick like that the last 2 rounds. And
this round, Daniel hasn't been able to mount any offense from the back either. No
nothing.
Elbows.
No.
He's not. You know, there's just as I say that. See, nice one, but last round he was landing 2, 3, 4 in a row.
Head guard control. Control his head with your left guard. Wrap it around his head. Wrap it around his head.
This next time that back comes up, I want to see Trav put a hook in and think about finishing the fight rather than think about keeping him down.
Right.
Keep working, D.
Got to get a hook in.
Keep working. You got to get standing back up, baby.
Good short elbow there.
Control the head and the arm.
Oh,
There's one.
That's one of the best elbows he's landed all fight.
Hold that, hold that. Don't worry about the crossface. Turn in, don't get that right leg in front. Right leg in front. You're all right. You're breathing. You're breathing.
Wouldn't mind a couple stand-ups in this fight.
Keep working.
Travis isn't in the mood for it
such
tonight.
a dominant position, you know.
No danger whatsoever.
No.
Right leg leg in front,
Travis is fighting a great fight.
Oh, it's smart fight.
It's not the way he wanted to fight, I know that. He told me, he said if it made it out of the first round, he'd be very embarrassed.
Keep working.
I disagree because I actually find Danyelle to be a tough dude. Not the most technical.
He is, but, you know, this is a fight that Travis should take him down and finish. I just think DR has improved a ton. You know? But the wrestling thing is, you know.
Well, the fact that Travis
he
is the
doesn't
world's
have much
biggest
of a wrestling
205er.
background.
And Travis is the world's biggest 205er, you know, which is the weight class both of them kind of fight at. And you won't find a bigger guy than Travis.
No, you
now, I'd
really
be interested to see, you know, a guy like Utah that, you know, if he fought you, what the game plan would be. Because, I mean, shooting for takedowns against you would be, you're the kind of guy that'd probably be embarrassed if you got taken down.
I'm used to that. I'm used to that. You know, I put a lot of time in and wrestle. I wrestled for, well, since I can remember being a kid all the way up through. And spent my time in some of the best college wrestling rooms throughout the nation, you know, University of Iowa and Iowa Central Community College is one of the top junior colleges, you know, and so I've been on the mat quite a bit and wrestled against the best guys out there, so I feel pretty comfortable on my feet.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, you guys asked what gym Travis at. He's mainly wrestling. He's mainly just in the room wrestling. Yeah. You know, he's not really MMA training anymore.
Yeah, I usually go over to Luther College. You know, I go over there and work out with some of the athletes over there. So kind of,
you know, he's an assistant. So he's, you know, the last 2 years ago he was with Brock Berge all the time, and now he's been wrestling with Sam Stoll, the heavyweight that's coming to Iowa forever too.
Yep.
So obviously getting Trav in that wrestling room was big for Cass and Manorville because Sam Stoll didn't. I mean, nobody's touched Sam Stoll for the last 2 years, so his best matches were in the room every day.
Yep, shining each other up in there.
Being a 205 or a heavyweight can be a very lonely thing at the gym. You show up, and a guy like you or a guy like him, you know, the small guys have no interest.
Right.
You know,
see, like my hometown, you know, I basically train on my own at my hometown. I got to piece everything together here. I go to Luther and try to slide up to Rochester, and you know, it's hard to find training partners. It really is.
We had to move Raphael. I mean, you know, he wasn't getting work, and Travis.
Speaking of the devil,
there he is. Just talking about you.
Well, maybe I should have said that.
Had to rub it in, apparently. You know, you were too gutless, Raphael Butler, joining us here with Todd. We were just actually telling Todd about how it can be a very lonely situation for a heavyweight or a 205 or at a gym. You show up and no one wants to go with you, or you know.
Really horrible situation, man.
What do you think here? What are you thinking here, Raph?
I think this fight is going exactly how I expected it to. I expected for if you don't knock Travis out, then Travis is going to grab it.
Tell you what, though.
Travis looks good, though. He's not tired.
If you had told DR that he was going to get it to the 5th round, I think he'd take it every time because he's still got a shot to win this fight.
Got to keep it on his feet here.
Both guys are not tired for a 5. I would never believe I'd see a heavyweight fight.
No, they look pretty fresh, don't they?
I thought last round you could see Trav kind of got a second wind. It almost. Like,
oh, he caught him there. Caught him there. Right back into it too.
It's got to be frustrating for Danyelle. And here it comes.
Yeah.
And fight's over.
There we go. Yeah, another 4 minutes sitting here. 4:30 sitting here.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. I think it's got to be really frustrating for heavyweight too. You know, the chance of submission for Danyelle probably 0-0. I've never seen Travis Wiuff get submitted anytime recently.
It's because he doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, he won't.
You got to try to get your back to the cage, DR. Get your left leg in front.
Travis fights so smart though. Even the position he puts himself in, he's not. You know, he's no danger.
I don't know. Staying tight, short little shots here. Always pressure. Doesn't give him any wiggle room in there.
Yeah. Now with Todd in our booth, it's hard for us not to imagine him in there right now. You know, although I do think if Todd fought Travis, I think that would be over pretty fast either way. I don't see that going 5 rounds. I think the kind of lumber you guys would be tossing, because I don't think he'd be able to get you down. So I think he'd be forced to throw some serious lumber on the feet.
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of big throws there, definitely.
Even more interesting, Todd, and I know you're a big wrestler, could you get Travis down and hold him down? That would be interesting.
I've took down better.
What did you wrestle at? Oh, wait.
184. Okay. 184, and I bumped up / 197 at the end there.
Then, like any good wrestler, you put on 20 pounds right after?
I wrestled 160 in high school.
Oh, really?
I cut so much weight in high school, and I was like, we're going into college. I'm like, never again am I going to do that. So I wrestled 25 pounds heavier my freshman year, not even a year later.
One of the guys that he's a 1-0 guy, but he wants us to manage him. Terrence Young. I don't know if you remember him. He went to Iowa. He was a national champion. Was he division? JUCO national. But he told me his whole college was ruined because they forced him to wrestle at 25 or whatever. And he's like, man, it was hard to study.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's like, I barely. He got a degree, but he was like, it was miserable. And he got in trouble a lot for missing weight. You know, and when they go to meets and he wouldn't pass the
hydration. Or, you know, they got all sorts of regulations nowadays, which is a good thing. You know.
Yeah.
It gets, back in the day we didn't have them regulations. It was, you could cut as much as you really wanted to cut.
They finally started to protect the high school kids a lot. You know what I mean? If you don't have a certain amount of body fat, they won't let you cut. You're not cutting a lot. You got to have a certain percentage of body fat for you to
Yeah,
cut.
you can only lose, like, I don't know if it's 1 or 1.5% of your body weight per week.
Right.
So they, mandated all the way down to the week. So, which is
And
good.
You're not supposed to use sauna suits.
Nope, those are all illegal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, all illegal.
I don't know how you'd ever stop someone, but
Is that USA or is that Iowa or Minnesota?
That's everything.
it's a wrestling rule. Yeah,
Yep.
It's a high school wrestling rule.
You
I mean,
stand
think
up
about how many times the rear naked choke has been there for Travis.
right now.
Travis is,
hook in.
he's definitely punished him for 5 rounds though.
Good
It's going to be. I think we're going to have a 50-45
straight
decision.
across the board.
Yeah.
I don't know how it couldn't be. You know,
Right.
There's no round that.
No rounds were 10-8 either. I mean, I don't think he dominated him. I mean, he
They were
definitely won
probably
them hands
only-
down, but
Probably only on their feet for 30 seconds around,
Yeah.
Pretty much right to the mat it went. Other than for a little bit that first round.
very impressed by the fact that Danyelle has he's not once stopped fighting. He is
No, he's held strong, definitely.
he definitely, hometown guy. I expected that though, guy that beat you and you're from the same hometown. And a guy like Danyelle, every time you go out locally anywhere, people ask about Travis Wiuff.
Yep. You hear his name all the time.
You probably hear in your area.
Yeah, you start to.
Back in the day, or when he was, UFC and it wasn't long ways in Bellator. And I imagine that now he's gotten 3 wins in a row on our show. He's going to probably get a couple big offers.
Yep. How old is he?
How old is
35.
35?
A lot of fights, though.
I think he just turned 36.
It's crazy. It's his 91st fight, 91st pro fight.
And he
When
said
did he
there's
start?
about
18?
He said there's about no. He didn't start till after college.
Okay.
He's just a guy who will fight every week against whoever. And the kind of way he fights, he doesn't take a lot of damage either.
Right.
You know?
Just staying busy, doing what he has to do here.
Who's bleeding over there, Todd? Is
Bottom
that Daniel's?
man,
Okay,
yep.
yeah. The nose,
Oh, his nose. 10 seconds.
Ben looks like it's time to hand out the awards, too.
Yep. Looks like that'll be 50-45.
Travis fought a hell of a
He
fight.
did. Smart fight. Did what he had to do to get the win.
He basically showed his class of, the fact that he has 90 fights and he knows what he's doing from beginning to end.
Yep.
You
Didn't get no danger at all out there. Knew what he had to do at all times. Veteran.
the definition of a veteran right there.
Yep, exactly.
The great thing about fighting Travis Wiuff is there's no for Danyelle, there's no fault in losing
That's
that
what
fight.
I said.
Good learning.
Exactly.
No, good learning tool right here for him.
There ain't a person in the world
Definitely.
that don't respect a guy that went 5 hard rounds with Travis Wiuff.
No.
And it's like, Danyelle, he put himself in some good spots. In the early part of the fight, he had some success. By round 4 and 5, I think suffocating was there, and Travis surprised me with great cardio tonight.
Yep.
He got a little tired after round 2, and then he had a look on his face like, hey, I'm tired. I might not make it. And then,
I think that was more mental than anything. He wanted
Yeah.
to put him out that first round, and it didn't happen for him. And he thought, uh-oh, here we go, And then when he got settled in, he was good to go.
He got a second win too. You talk about digging deep, and I know Travis doesn't work out like he used to work out. I mean, he actually works at the health club that I go to. He's an employee there, so he does work out plenty. But what's that? So we'll set it up for the final decision.
Right behind you. Right behind you.
He's got 82.